The most dangerous manipulation never looks dangerous. That's exactly why you keep forgiving it. It hides inside kindness, inside humor, inside conversations that somehow always leave you feeling smaller. And the cruelest part, the more you love someone, the harder it becomes to see what they're doing. Healthy relationships need occasional clarification. Manipulative ones turn every decision into a courtroom trial. You explain your choice, they question it. You explain again, they question harder. It never actually ends. Eventually, you stop making decisions freely. You spend hours rehearsing explanations they might actually accept instead. Why didn't you tell me first? That rehearsal isn't communication anymore. It's self-defense conditioning disguised as a normal relationship. And the terrifying part? You started calling it being considerate, while quietly losing your own voice. They don't lie loudly. They quietly rewrite small moments until your version becomes impossible to trust. That's not what I said. You're being too sensitive. That never happened the way you remember it. One denial is a misunderstanding. A pattern of denials is something far more deliberate and dangerous instead. You start double-checking your own memories. You stop trusting your own perception of reality completely. And the next behavior is dangerous because it feels like love while quietly dismantling your entire identity. Healthy love doesn't disappear when you disagree. Manipulative love withdraws until you comply instead. I see your point, and I agree. However, there are boundaries we must respect. If we disagree, the warmth fades. But yes, I agree. You start editing your opinions automatically, not because you changed your mind, but because you missed their warmth. That's not love anymore. That's conditioning. You've been trained to behave without anyone saying a word. A boundary isn't a debate topic, but to a manipulative person, every limit you set invites a negotiation. Why would you need that? That doesn't make sense. If you love me, you wouldn't even ask for that. The boundary isn't the problem. The boundary reveals the problem. And they can't afford for you to see that. Over time, you stop setting limits entirely. It's easier to abandon your needs than survive another argument. The next behavior is the most painful, because most people who experience it silently believe they caused it. Healthy people regulate their own emotions. Manipulative people make their moods your emotional emergency instead. You raise a concern. They get hurt. You spend the next 3 hours managing their feelings about your feelings. You never actually get heard. The conversation always transforms into something entirely about rescuing them instead. And eventually you stop speaking up at all. Because addressing your pain only seems to create more of it. You try to explain how you feel. Somehow, before you finish polit, they're the one who's been deeply wronged. They don't lie loudly. They quietly rewrite small moments until your version becomes impossible to trust. Your hurt gets redirected, reframed, minimized, until the only thing left visible is their suffering instead. You came for resolution. You leave having apologized. And you're not entirely sure what you're apologizing for. Healthy communication holds two people at once. This only ever holds one Taos, and it's never actually you. This is the final sign. And for many people, it's the one that arrives completely without them noticing. You rehearse conversations before they happen. You soften every opinion. You avoid entire topics to feel safe. You feel relief when a sensitive topic simply doesn't come up. That relief is a red flag, not peace. You are no longer speaking freely. You are managing reactions. That's not a relationship, it's a performance. The cruelest part of subtle manipulation is that it makes you doubt yourself far more than it doubts them. You start wondering if you're too sensitive, too demanding, too much hawkisses, when really you were simply being controlled. The version of yourself that flinches before speaking, that rehearses, that shrinks unpolled, that is not who you were. That version was shaped gradually by someone who needed you smaller in order to feel bigger themselves. You deserve relationships where your feelings are heard, not redirected, where boundaries are respected, not negotiated. And the moment you truly believe that, everything that no longer belongs in your life becomes impossible to ignore. If someone specific appeared in your mind during this video, your intuition already knows what your heart isn't ready to say.